It's not hard to love a lot of things about Oregon, especially the food. Oregon is such a wonderful place for all kinds of edible and consumable things, wonderful wines, wonderful seafood, wonderful fruits and vegetables, and a great culture in which to invent and innovate and make good things. Of course, everybody knows about the old Oregon Trail, but there is a new Oregon Trail, and Oregon is really at the forefront of helping to blaze that with wonderful ingredients and great practices, really wonderful practices in the way they do things within the food business. Number one, we're a producer of shelf-stable products. Everything we do is shelf-stable. And we use about 5 different packaging formats, including at its most basic cans, metal cans, and at its most advanced all plastic materials. But all of the products that we do, whether a big package or a small cap package, are shelf stable and they don't need refrigeration. For us, it boils down to some principles about the way we treat our people, the way we live in our community, the way that we conserve water and electricity, the way that we relate to our suppliers and our vendors. It's a rather holistic approach that includes both what some would call social equity, what we would call fairness and honesty, and that would also include things that are thought to be green or eco-friendly sorts of things, like conserving water, conserving electricity, using ingredients that you don't have to worry about that are going to make somebody sick or anything else. And so that's what it means to us. And it also means that we make a big effort to deal with vendors that have the same values and the same attitudes, or similar ones at least. Well, the big one for us as a food processor is water. And it really boils down to some pretty simple things like reusing we use a lot of water when we process a food product, particularly in our shelf-stable processing where we're using fresh ingredients we buy directly from a grower. You got to clean the product. In many cases, you transport the product within our plant by water, which is a very gentle medium to transport food products in a processing facility. And we use an awful lot of water. Well, water gets to be very expensive, particularly the wastewater part of it. So the more we reuse it, the better off we are. We filter it. When we finally get through using the water that we have to use to clean our products, to cool our products after retorting, to transport our products, then we filter it very carefully, rather extremely, one might say, before it goes back into the system and into the waterways of Oregon. So that's what to cite water as an example. Of course, we could go on from there to electricity and the other resources that we use from time to time. Well, as a cookbook, it captures some of the best things in Oregon related to food. Number one, the wine. I mean, it's built around pairing food with wine. And the author, Bill King, has had a previous book entitled A Chef's Bounty, The Foods of Oregon. And so he's built the recipes in this book utilizing the bountiful foods available in Oregon to construct the menus in this book. Bill happens to be a rather distinguished fellow, and his photographer, Rick Schaefer, is really the laureate photographer in the state of Oregon, along with his stepfather, has published a number of beautiful coffee table books on scenic Oregon. And so he's a great guy, and he is a photographer at our event here as well as for the Vendor's Kitchen book. So these guys are just the real deal, the real Oregon deal, and the recipes are built around real foods and real wine produced in Oregon.